Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight's show is a special show. Broadcast1 presents Disruptors, where we bring you conversations and interviews with some of the biggest companies that are leaving a change as far as India is concerned, both with their contribution to the economy as well as their innovation. Two such companies in focus tonight. First up, a conversation with VHealth by Aetna, and on the other side of a short break, I'll be in conversation with Canada HSBC OBC Life Insurance. We speak often about the intersection between technology and healthcare here in India and why India is such a prime market when it comes to innovation in this space. One company that's doing just that is VHealth by Aetna, and I spoke to them about how the landscape here in India is changing when it comes to using technology. They provide primary care doctors both over calls as well as video conferencing for their patients. Listen in to what they had to say.
Rapid urbanization and a fast-paced socio-economic development is contributing to the rising incidence of cardiovascular diseases, chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes and hypertension. With a rising population and expensive cost of medical care, accessing quality doctors and getting timely clinical solutions is becoming more and more challenging. Leveraging technology and addressing the need for growing clinical healthcare is VHealth by Aetna, a company focused on providing quality and affordable medical care via telemedicine.
VHealth app से हमने appointment book किया, and before the appointment time somebody calls us कि आपका 15 मिनट के बाद call है, doctor will call you. बड़ा easy है कि हम अपनी problems को doctor को बताते हैं, फिर डॉक्टर को अगर ज़रूरत होता है कुछ फिजिकल देखना है तो फोटोग्राफ मांगते हैं, हम उनको फोटोग्राफ शेयर कर देते हैं. देन ही अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स एंड गेट बैक टू अस विद कंसल्टेंसी कार्ड.
इनिशियली माइंड में आया कि नहीं यार ऐसे कैसे होता है, फ़ोन पे कैसे डॉक्टर, मैं तो देख भी नहीं रहा कौन डॉक्टर है, वो डॉक्टर है भी या नहीं. numbness in legs and some laziness in the and dryness of mouth and other things are also there. कम से कम आधा घंटा मैंने उनसे बात की डॉक्टर से, और जो भी छोटी छोटी माइनर प्रॉब्लम भी हैं वो मैंने डिस्कस की. तो फ़ोन किया मुझे, तो मुझे थोड़ा बेटर लगा कि हाँ फ़ोन पे भी हो सकती है. You can discuss and you can consult your problem on phone.
My wife Neetu, she was complaining a lot about gastro. Unfortunately, even after taking treatment for about 15 days, there was no much of cure, and we were actually clueless whom to go next. And then there was VHealth. It was indeed a very pleasant conversation. She took all details. She understood the entire history behind it, and eventually she further found that it was linked to thyroid.
The most valuable thing which I found in my doctor was she was constantly in touch with me. Her follow-up was very much regular.
Thank you so much for speaking with us here on this interview and really talking about what are some of the biggest changes that we're seeing. You have a bird's eye view when it comes to the medical as well as the healthcare space in India. So it's exciting to speak to you here tonight. I want to start by talking about VHealth and what you want for our viewers to really know about what you do.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is make healthcare easy for our members. Health can become a complicated subject. And in the absence of good primary care or having a primary care physician or a family doctor, healthcare can be very confusing. So that's exactly the problem we want to address. VHealth is our primary healthcare service. It revolves around our own telemedicine center. We have specially trained doctors who are available to our members, and they consult, they diagnose, they prescribe, they treat, and as required, we also want to bring healthcare to our members' homes. So we can do blood tests at home, we can do home healthcare, we can send medicines home, and also where required, refer them into the larger healthcare system.
Okay, so I want to talk about telemedicine and how it's really been changing here in India.
Telemedicine means different things to different people. The basic definition of telemedicine would be the ability to treat patients or manage patients remotely. And there are a number of different models. There's teleradiology, for example, where a radiologist sitting in Bangalore could be diagnosing an MRI scan that was done in Boston. That's also telemedicine. The way we understand telemedicine for our primary care service is really the ability to manage a patient, to diagnose a patient, to treat a patient on the telephone or on a video chat. The important thing is that it becomes convenient, it becomes accessible, and also we believe that the quality of diagnosis can be excellent even though the doctor is not physically touching the patient. In terms of our target segments, really, one, we're going after individual customers because we believe all families need primary health care. All families should have a trusted health guide that they can turn to, that they can consult whenever they have a health question. So we provide precisely that service to individuals at a very, very nominal cost of 250 rupees a month. And that subscription gives you access to doctors, dietitians for unlimited number of occasions during the year. So that's one way in which we're trying to expand our market. The other is corporate business because, 75% of people who work in corporate suffer from some type of chronic ailments. We've got diabetes, we've got high blood pressure, we've got stress, and all these diseases will lead to reduction in productivity, absenteeism, and sometimes even when people come to work, they're not working at 100% efficiency. So I think responsible companies are turning to people like us to manage the outpatient and or the primary care for their, for their employees, assessing their health risks, doing preventive care, and also making interventions, preventive kind of interventions to reduce the incidence of chronic diseases.
Okay, we started this conversation in this interview by talking about the fact that you have a bird's eye view on the industry here in India. So my question to you really is about the industry. What are a couple of the things that you would see as being the biggest challenges, the biggest problems here in India? And when we're talking about the healthcare space in India, there are multiple. But you are serving a specific market in a specific segment. What are some of the biggest challenges there that you're seeing?
From where we sit, we think the biggest problem in the Indian healthcare system is the lack of primary healthcare. I would even go so far as to say the lack of respect for primary healthcare. If you look at an Indian family, a typical Indian customer, and we've spoken to a lot of customers, and this is quite typical of the way we behave, the way I behave, is that when you have a symptom, you like to ignore it and you wish it will go away. If it gets worse, you might have some home remedy. You might ask your aunt or your grandmother or your mother for some home remedy.
Or Google it and pick up the wrong information.
Or Google it and get really scared about it. Then we start self-medicating. And then, if that doesn't fix the problem, we straight away jump and go and see a specialist. And that leads to unnecessary cost and it leads to poor clinical outcomes. A primary healthcare physician must be, in a good healthcare system, the first port of call. It's a doctor who knows your family history. It's a doctor that has a full understanding of your current medications. It's a doctor who knows your allergies, a doctor who knows how you react to medication. And it's a doctor who spends time with you explaining your symptoms, addressing your concerns. And also, in case you need, and very few people need this by the way, in case you need a specialist and in case you need more serious types of interventions, they can guide you through the healthcare system. If you look at international examples, the OECD, the rich countries, the UK has the lowest spend on healthcare per capita and the best clinical results. And the reason is that they give a lot of respect to the general practitioner. The GP in the UK healthcare system is the gatekeeper. You cannot see a specialist, even if you're willing to pay, unless your GP recommends you to a specialist. So I think because of that importance, they manage to keep their costs reasonable as well as ensure the quality of outcomes are excellent. So that's one of the big issues in our healthcare system. But like all healthcare systems, we suffer from the three fundamental issues more generally, which is the quality of healthcare, the cost of healthcare, and the accessibility of healthcare.
You're talking about quality and accessibility, and I want to first talk about quality and talk about the quality of the manpower for your industry, which is the doctors, and the healthcare professionals who are available. Do you think that enough is being done on that front? Are you happy with what you're seeing? Would you want to see changes there?
So at WeHealth, we take this very seriously. And we extensively train our doctors on remote diagnosis because that's a skill in itself. So there are very good quality doctors available in the country. We recruit carefully, we train them for 8 weeks, and then we insist that they follow strict clinical protocols. Telemedicine enables, the technology enables the remote consultation, but the quality of clinical care is what's the most important part of any healthcare service. So we follow Swiss clinical protocols. We put our people through a lot of training. We have processes in place where our doctors are being monitored, both for the quality of customer service, as well as the clinical soundness of their diagnosis and the clinical soundness of their treatment.
Okay, I want to talk accessibility of affordable healthcare in India. It can of course be addressed largely by the use of technology, particularly in rural India. Reports suggest that nearly 68% of all Indians are living in rural areas. So that's a huge opportunity for companies like yours. What's your view on the use of telemedicine in rural India?
You're absolutely right. I think India represents an almost unlimited market. If you're able to provide quality services at a low cost and make it accessible, I think you have an unlimited market in this country. People will be willing to pay small amounts of money if they are assured of quality and access. So we're also working with rural India, because I believe that telemedicine can really make a big impact on the lives of people. We are available to the rural members for treatment of medical conditions, proper advice, prescriptions. We've developed the technology of actually sending information over SMS in case they don't use email.
You were saying that one thing that's perhaps helped you get the kind of traction that you have here in India is the kind of innovation that you're doing. My question is the larger piece on innovation in India in the healthcare space. We do have companies like Apracto, we do have companies like yourself. Do you think enough is happening when it comes to innovation in healthcare?
Given the challenges of this country, nothing is going to be enough. So I think a lot more can happen, and there's a big market, like I said, almost unlimited market, as long as you can meet quality, cost and accessibility parameters. So I think a lot more can happen. I think it's important to remember that technology is only an enabler and not an end in itself. Okay,
my last question to you is on the size of the industry, whether you're looking at the primary healthcare or the medtech and the telemedicine industry. What's the size, maybe a 5-10 year view, and of that, what's the vision for yourself at VHealth of how much of that market you want to have?
So, you know, there are many numbers that are quoted. There's one number that I have read recently that says that the primary health market in India by 2020 will be almost $20 billion US. But I like to think about it in terms of the number of families we are helping or the number of people we are helping. And I'm delighted that we recently crossed the 1 million mark. So now there are 1 million members who are enjoying or who are benefiting from our VHealth by Aetna service. I would like to firstly take that to about 4 million by 2020. And after that, I really think the sky is the limit, because I think when you have a quality service, people are going to come, they will be repeat customers, and the circle of people who would like to use our services will be ever expanding.
All right, time for a break. When we come back, Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance in focus. Just stay tuned. Welcome back with us here on Broadcast1 presents Disruptors. This conversation tonight is with Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance. Our second interview tonight also focuses on the power of technology to change what has been considered a very traditional industry here in India, that of life insurance. I caught up with Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance to discuss really what they're doing when it comes to the life insurance market using technology, how they've tied up in a very short span of time with over 10,000 bank partners, and what the future for life insurance in India is looking like. Take a listen.
A joint venture between HSBC, Canara Bank and Oriental Bank of Commerce, Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance brings together a holistic distribution network of the two public sector banks combined with the technical prowess of HSBC. Launched in 2008 and headquartered in Gurgaon, the company has over 10,000 branches across India.
Anuj, thank you very much for speaking with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. It's always a pleasure to understand how India is changing rapidly, and one area that's definitely seeing a lot of movement and a lot of action is the life insurance space here in India. So maybe I'll start by talking about how life insurance has really changed. You're someone who's been associated with this industry for almost 2 decades now. What have been some of the biggest changes?
Right. Thanks, Nanda. Thanks for inviting me on this show, and warm greetings to our viewers. So the way insurance, and I've been in the industry, as you said, for almost 2 decades now. It's changing, and why it is changing is because of 2 or 3 reasons. So one is the kind of financialization which is happening in the economy, where the awareness, the financial awareness has increased over a period of time. Number two, I think the Jan Dhan scheme and the monetization drive, all of this has helped in terms of increasing the financial awareness of the customers and also the insurance awareness. And if I look back for the last 3 years, the industry has grown by almost 16%, so which is fantastic. And I think there's more to come in store. There's a lot which industry is going to do in terms of insurance awareness, in terms of financialization of investments. So that's what we'll see.
Okay, let's talk about Canara HSBC and about the company. It doesn't need an introduction per se, but if you can just run our viewers through what you want them to know about perhaps one or two things that have really been changing and is exciting for you at the company.
Yeah. So this company, Canara HSBC, Oriental Bank of Commerce Life Insurance, is a joint venture between Canara Bank, HSBC, and Oriental Bank of Commerce. We were formed in 2008. We started our business about 10 years back. And the model which we have followed is completely bank assurance. So we are the only company in the industry which is purely into bank assurance. And I see this as a big advantage to us, to the company. We have done really well. We were actually, when we started our business, we were about 18th in the industry. And as we are talking, we have reached number 10 position. Doing extremely well. We achieved our break-even in the first 5 years, which is something rare in the insurance industry. Our business has grown 36% year on year in the last 3 years. And we have achieved our break-even and we are doing extremely well. What we have also done in last 3 years, we have shifted our focus to technology big time. Digital is one area where we are focusing. And we think that this is what will provide growth. And we have seen a number of examples where basis the digital technology, companies have grown. So we have taken that as priority for us and we are growing. Financially, we are very sound and backed by the insurance experience of HSBC and the distribution strength of Canara Bank and OBC, we are doing extremely well.
In a very short span of time, besides having your own dedicated branches, you have about 10,000 bank partners.
Yes.
So this massive sort of strength and this massive distribution network and pan-India has come about in a very short period of time. What has helped you disrupt the market in that sense?
Right. So I think that's a big advantage which we have as a company. And as you rightly mentioned, we have over 10,000 branches. And the beauty is that these 10,000 branches are spread across India. So they're also there in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. So that's a big advantage which we have in this business, that we are able to reach out to customers very, very easily through these bank branches. And because bank employees traditionally, like they have been kind of, their awareness about financial products is high, they are able to kind of explain the benefits of these products to the customers at large. And this has provided us the reach to about 11.5 crore customers across these 3 banks and other bank partners we have. So that's a huge advantage. And when we talk of now that maybe the disposable income is increasing in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, it is going to provide us a huge advantage in terms of reaching out to those customers, meeting their protection and financial needs.
In your previous answer, you were talking about tier 3 and tier 4 and why it's perhaps so important for you.
Yeah.
Why these markets becoming important for companies like yourself? What are you doing to sell to these markets? Are you selling differently than what perhaps you're doing when it comes to the metros?
Right. So we started our conversation by talking about the financialization of the economy, the disposable income going up in tier 3, tier 4 cities. So I think there's a big opportunity which is there in tier 3, tier 4 cities where people have the disposable income. They are looking for savings, some protection options, and the awareness is going up. So with that, there is an immense opportunity which is there in these tier 3, tier 4 cities, and with digital assets which are there now in terms of access of information to the customer. I think the growth is going to come from tier 3, tier 4 cities. And if I look at the distribution of our customers, the distribution of our bank branches, as I mentioned, we have 10,000 bank branches spread across India. Roughly 75 to 80% of these branches and customers are in these cities. So there's a huge potential which we see there, which we are going to kind of capitalize on through awareness, through having simple products.
All right, so those are the biggest insights when it comes to tier 3 and tier 4. But as more and more people are going online and more people are also going mobile, is that a huge area of opportunity? Also the language that you're using, are you looking at perhaps more regional languages? Any of those insights you can give us?
Yeah, so digital is a big opportunity, as we all know. And if you look at the number of smartphone users, as we are talking, I think the number is close to about 30 crores. And there are independent research done, studies done, which shows that this number in next 3 to 4 years is going to be about 75 crores. If I look at the number of people who are using internet, as of now, it's more than 50 crore customers or people who have got access to internet.
Sure.
So I think it's going to explode. And the way I see is that if you have that digital capability of kind of servicing the customer, ability to sell, it's going to be a huge advantage. So digital is a big priority for us. We have invested in technology in the last 3 years, big time, to reach out to these customers. We have got currently 3 online products which are available to the customers. And the beauty of digital is that you can reach out to the customer wherever the customer is. You can reach out 24/7. It is as per customer convenience. So customer doesn't have to walk into your branch. You are there when the customer is available.
Sure.
So this particular segment is going to grow. And as I mentioned, we have a very cost efficient term product, online product. We have an online ULIP, which is again, in terms of charges, we don't levy any policy admin charge. We don't levy any allocation charge. It's only the fund management charge, which is just 1.35%. And we also refund the mortality charges. So in case if the customer lives through the policy period, even the mortality charge is refunded to the customer. Sure. We have got loyalty benefits. So this is the beauty of digital, that you can be really, really cost efficient and you can be really close to the customer. So that's what we have done. We are coming up with a critical illness product where we are going to provide protection to the customer against 26 diseases in addition to cancer and heart ailments. So I think digital is going to grow, and it's really important for us to kind of align to that those needs, because customer is looking at digital solutions, right? Yeah. So from that perspective, digital is our priority and we have growth plans.
Okay, the show is called Disruptors, and we talk to people who are doing something completely different in their industries. I want to talk to you about how you are innovating in this market. Talking of digital, you have several global players as well that are perhaps looking at this market using the power of digital and technology. Right. But if you can say 1 or 2 things that are helping you innovate and break out of the clutter that's in this industry, what would that be?
Right. So first disruption I spoke about was bank assurance, that we chose this model, that this is something which is going to provide us the growth, which is going to help us delivering very, very efficient products to the customers. So that was the first disruption. The other thing which we have done is, and when we talk about digital, so digital is the second disruption which we think is going to help the business. So what we have done, and when I look at digital, one is from customer perspective. So some of the initiatives which we have launched on digital platform for the customers, which are quite unique. One, we have chatbot for our customers. So customer has no dependence of calling us only during working hours. The customer is there. He can look at whatever information he's looking at through chatbot. We also have IVR, which is in multiple languages. So on your point in terms of how we kind of cater to pan-India customers. And we also have customer portal through which customer can come and log in, and actually the customer can do whatever they want to do. So I call it as DIY, which is do it yourself. So whenever you want to do something to your policy, you can do it.
I also want to talk about what some of your priorities are at the company.
3 key pillars which we talk about in the company. The first one is being customer centric. So we look at each and everything from customer's lens, that how we can actually create value for money for the customer, how we can give customer delight. So be it our processes or be it kind of the buying experience. So that's something which is very important, and we have invested a lot of our time in that, in creating that customer delight, number one. Number 2 is being employee centric. So as I mentioned, like this is something which is very, very close to my heart, because people are the only assets we have. So we invest in their training, in their learning and development. We also make sure that they are ready for the next role within the company. So we promote internal talent. Unless and until it's a specialized role and we don't have internal talent, we don't hire from outside. So employee centricity is the core. And the third thing is the technology, or call it digital, which is again a focus area. And we are focusing on that how we kind of provide that seamless journey to the customer by using technology. So be it solicitation, or be it servicing, or be it overall customer delight. So these are the 3 key pillars on which we are working, and we feel that these are going to provide us the kind of growth which we are aiming at.
Wish you then all the very best And thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thanks. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
All right, that's our show tonight. If you have any feedback for us, here's how you let us know. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is our email ID. You can also get in touch with us on social media. Tweet at me personally at Sunand_J or LOT_ET now. You can also reach us on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.